Hello everyone, this is Amber with Staying Crafty, and today I have a very special card project. I have already completed this one, but I'm going to go ahead and make it a second time. And this is a card I am making specifically to send to Robyn, my pink stamper herself. So that's why it's so very, very pink. I think it might even be a bit of overkill on pink, but hopefully she still likes it. So we're starting out by creating a 5.5 inch square card. So it's 11 inches by 5.5, folded in half to make a 5.5 inch square. So that's going to be our card base for today. Then we have a layer that is a 5.25 inch square in white. This is a slightly lighter pink than our pink in the background. I don't know how well that'll show up on video, but they are two different pinks. And this one is 5 inches even, square also. So that's how that's going to layer up. And we'll start with these pieces. So the white piece is just going to go straight down. So I'll go ahead and do that first. So of course the trick is just trying to line it up correctly. Get nice even borders if we can. Alright, so there's that layer. Now this layer here, we're going to do some embossing. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my Cuttlebug. Okay, so now I'm going to do some embossing with a Fisker's texture plate instead of an embossing folder. So first I'm going to lay down my A plate. Now I have my texture plate, and these are so neat. They're double-sided. I have 3 sets of them, and each set is 6 plates. So being that they're double-sided, you get 12 designs, and they're really, really affordable, especially online. So I'm going to lay my texture plate down with the design I want to use face up, and today I am using the hearts design. I'm going to lay my cardstock down next. Just want to position it as straight as I can, and of course make sure that it's all within the embossed area on the plate. And another thing that's nice about these is how big they are. A Cuttlebug folder actually wouldn't cover this whole piece of paper in one round, at least not the traditional A2 size. They are now coming out with some that are like 5 by 7, but most of them aren't that big, and I would have to do this twice. So now I have this tan embossing mat from Spellbinders. I've heard of people also cutting up mouse pads and things like that to use instead. But you do need something squishy. Since it's not a folder, this has to squeeze down into the hearts to push your paper. So that's how we're going to get the embossing done today. And now I have my C plate. And I'm just going to run this sandwich through my Cuttlebug to do my embossing. And it feels a bit tight, but it really needs to. I've tried this with a B plate and it just slides right through and you don't get it done. Alright. And when you pull it out, this is like really stuck together, stuck down in there. But that's what you want. And then just center and stick this onto my card. Same thing, I'm looking to try and achieve an even border all the way around. And generally what I do that I find helpful is look at a corner, because if the border's even here and here, that means it's going to be even on the rest of the card. So the focal point of my project is this great little stamped image. And this sweet little pie is from this set here, and this is by My Cute Stamps. And this set is called Sweet Kawaii, and I really, really love it. I hope I'm pronouncing that word right, kawaii. I just stamped it onto Stampin' Up's Whisper White cardstock. I colored it in with Stampin' Right markers, and of course I added diamond stickles on the frosting. I don't think it would be a card for Robyn if it didn't have stickles, so I found that to be a very important step. And I went ahead and cut it out and layered it on top of this circle. So you can't really see too much of the white. There's a little bit around the borders, but you can't really tell. It pretty much shows the stamped image on the pink cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and layer that on top of a white scalloped circle. So I have 2 layers here. This layer here is 2 by 5 and it's just white. This is another piece of that same light pink I've been using, and this is 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. So these 2 are going to layer up on top of each other. Okay, got that down nice. And I'm going to be using another stamp by My Cute Stamps. I just discovered this company and I love them. This is a bird cages set and I think it is gorgeous. But today I'm actually going to be using the little sentiment that came with it. It just says, "A little wish for lots of happiness." Really cute little font on the word happiness. Just a really nice, simple, generic greeting that I think I'll be using a lot. So I've got my stamp already on my block. And I'm going to be using craft ink today from Stampin' Up, which is probably a good thing because with this dark cardstock to stamp on, this pigment ink is really going to cover it well. So I don't want it centered. I want it over here off to the right a little bit because I'm going to have a ribbon around here. So if I had it centered, my ribbon would be covering up my image. Right. Stand up here. See if I can line this up. My last one came out pretty crooked. And this one's crooked too. Crooked in the exact same direction as a matter of fact, but that's okay. Okay, so I went ahead and used my heat tool, so this should be dry and okay to work with. So I've just got a strip of ribbon here. It's just pink with white polka dots. And I'm not going to use the cheater method on this just because I honestly don't think it would save me any ribbon because it's kind of a thin piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie this around and tie it into a knot. And the other reason I like not using the cheater method with this is I'll be able to slide it around after it's tied and decide where I would like it. Sometimes that's nice to be able to do. Tie that there. And this will fit exactly on this top layer because this is 5 inches and the white piece is 5 inches. So then all I'm really doing is trying to get it straight, and I do want just a little border underneath it of the pink. So there's that. Push it down really well with all that embossing and that ribbon. And now all that's left to do is take my super cute little stamped image and stick that down. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to use Pop Dots. That is another thing I learned to love from Robyn, so very important to include it in my card to her. Just removing the backs of these. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of try and center it in the space. If you wanted, you could probably even do it off to the side or, you know, however. So there's that. And that completes our card for today. Here's the original, and here's the one I just made. So I like them. I think they turned out great. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful crafty day.